and a very warm welcome to yet another interesting edition of the program CSE Weekly, a weekly program that keeps you abreast on the activities and achievements of the Corporate Affairs Commission. My name is Rashid Mahe, and coming up, Morocco Investment Center to partner CSE to boost its operations. RGCSE renews commitment to staff capacity building. Plus, focus on biannual statement of affairs. We will be right back. Welcome back. We begin from North Africa, Morocco precisely. As the Registrar General, CEO of the Corporate Affairs Commission, Hussein Ishaq Magaji, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, fellow Chartered Institute of Secretaries and Administrators, restated his commitment to training and retraining for staff in line with his four-point agenda. Hussein Magaji, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, stated this in Casablanca, Morocco, while leading a team on capacity building and study tour. He stressed that the 5-day training program will serve as a peer learning experience for the beneficiaries and therefore charged them to utilize the opportunity for greater efficiency. Magaji said he would continue to work hard to ensure that the Commission achieved its mission of becoming a world-class companies registry within the shortest possible time. Also speaking during the opening session, the lead facilitator, Ahmed Shaibu Garagombe, applauded the Registrar General for his foresight, leadership, and commitment to improving the capacity of the Commission's workforce. He therefore assured that highly skilled and experienced facilitators have been assembled to share experiences on leadership, emotional intelligence, human resources management, and overview of business registration and regulation in Morocco. Some of the participants who applauded the Registrar General for finding them worthy of the 5-day training program scheduled to end on 2nd November 2022. CSE Weekly reports that the beneficiaries include the Director Human Resources Department, Mrs. Olaemi Olamide Oeni, Director Incorporated Trustees, Duke Ukaga, and Head of Public Affairs, Dominic O. Inyank, amongst others. It will be recalled that the Registrar General recently led a team to the Malaysia Companies Commission in his continued bid to reposition the CSE and make it operate at par with its global peers. We say thumbs up to the Registrar General for that breakthrough. And now moving on, we remain in Morocco, the city of Rabat precisely. The Regional Investment Center Rabat Morocco, RIC, has indicated its interest in studying the operations of the Corporate Affairs Commission, especially its ICT module. The Director CEO of the RIC, Mohsin Benjeloun, gave this indication while receiving a CSE team on a study tour led by the Registrar General, CEO of the Corporate Affairs Commission, Hussein Ishaq Magaji, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Mohsin Benjeloun, who made a PowerPoint presentation on the operations of RIC, described it as an equivalent of Nigeria's Investment Promotion Commission. He therefore highlighted their operations, which are a one-stop shop, coordinating and facilitating business registration activities on behalf of the Moroccan Company Registry, amongst others. He added that they undertake the function of transformation of regional investment transactions via a fully digitized system. The RIC Director applauded the Registrar General for his repositioning efforts at the CSE and expressed willingness to understudy its operations, particularly the ICT module. Speaking earlier, the Registrar General CEO of the CSE, Hussein Ishaq Magaji, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, thanked the RIC Director for warmly receiving them and went further to highlight the operations of the Commission as provided by CAMA 2020. He described the CSE as the largest company registry on the African continent, as evidenced by a recent study. Hussein Ishaq Magaji therefore stressed that his team was in Morocco to exchange ideas and share experiences with a view to improving the performance of the Commission. Also speaking, the lead facilitator, Ahmed Shaibu Garagombe, thanked the RIC for receiving the CSE team, which he said was in Morocco for capacity building and collaboration. The high point of the event included interactive and photographic session. Still talking training and training matters. In accordance with the provisions of the Registrar General's 4-point agenda, the Commission just concluded another round of training aimed at improving performance and building capacity, amongst others. One of such training programs was the managerial and communication skills held in Nasarawa State, and participants were drawn from across CSE offices around the country. During the program, discussions centered on strategic management, work-life balance, artificial intelligence, and positive attitude to work, and the work environment, amongst others. Comrade Stephen Bibam, President of Senior Staff Association of Statutory Corporations and Government-Owned Companies, SASCOC, benefited from the course as he sums up his feelings.
Need growth of our science. This is the only way to go, because you cannot achieve those things without training yourself. And secondly, we also want to encourage them that they should do it as much as it is possible. The welfare of members of staff. These are the people who appropriate policies, so that at the end of the day, all those set goals will be achieved. And I want to commend the training itself, the environment, the timing, and the cooperation we got from you guys. You are wonderful. This is one of a kind. In fact, we look forward to seeing you more and more, so that we start thinking as strategic managers, so that we propel the economy of the country, the organization, and the society at large. I want to say thank you for this time. Thank you very much.
Comrade Stephen Bibam there expressing his views about the just concluded training courtesy of the Registrar General Hussein Shak Magaji, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Let's now cross over to our interview segment for discussion on biannual statement of affairs. James Esa, Principal Manager Incorporated Trustees, is our newest resource person. Enjoy watching.
As a Principal Manager, Incorporated Trustees Department, many thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you for having me.
All right. We are focusing on an area that we have done severally, but for the purpose of those who are joining us, especially new, viewers. What is the thinking behind the biannual statement of affairs as far as the Incorporated Trustee is concerned?
Yeah, thank you very much. The Incorporated Trustees, the biannual statement of affairs, it's a new innovation that came into the new Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. Mm-hmm. It's new, it's novel. It wasn't in the old repealed act, CAMA 1990. Mm-hmm. And the wisdom of those that came about drafting this new law, they thought it wise that there should be a provision where associations file statement of affairs twice in a year. That is, before the 30th of June every year, or the 31st of December every year.
Okay. All right. Why make it biannual? Why not just a straight one?
Well, thank you very much. It's, a lot of things can happen within a year.
Okay.
1 year is a long stretch in which the biannual statement contains the reports of the affairs of the association for a period. You agree with me, if it's a longer period, it will be very difficult to assess and then, so it's best in the wisdom of those that drafted the new law that the statement of affairs should be filed twice in a year.
What kind of reports are expected from this association? Basically,
like the name implies, biannual statement of affairs. Is in the form of a report where the activities of the association is like a report. It contains both the financials and all that. Just a report of the affairs of the association for that period of time, which, like I said earlier, is from January to June, and then July to December each year.
Okay, so it covers their activities,
the entire year,
their financial spending,
statement of affairs for that period.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So let's look at the timelines.
Okay.
For this, filing, filing of the statement itself. Yeah. So what are the timelines?
The timeline, like I said earlier, is from January to June, and then there's a 15-day grace period. So instead of filing on or before 30th of June each year, you file, associations are allowed to file up until 15th of July.
Okay.
And then for the second half of it, those that are supposed to file on the 31st of December have a grace period of filing on the 15th of January each year.
Okay.
Yes.
So failure to do that.
Failure to
what are
do-
some of the penalties? Yeah.
Yes, failure to do that, there are penalties, of course. There are penalties as stipulated in our regulations. It's 500 naira per trustee for every day of default.
Okay.
So for instance, if they have 3 trustees, if an association has 3 trustees,
Okay.
each of the trustees will be penalized 500 naira per day times the number of the period of default.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Why is it so cheap?
Well, in a bit to,
500
you
naira.
know, the country, the government of the day is clamoring for ease of doing business,
Okay.
you know, renewed hope.
But association is not business.
No, of course, but you agree with me that in Nigeria, incorporated trustees fall under the purview of the Companies and Allied Matters Act.
Okay.
So by virtue of that, you know, it's just to make it easier for associations to be able to pay.
Okay.
You know, it's not a punitive measure.
Okay.
It's just for the commission to be abreast with
Okay.
the affairs
Okay.
of these associations, so that they don't deviate from the objects, the aims and objects that they stated in their documents while filing with the commissions that they would undertake.
So how much is the filing fee?
Yes, thank you very much for the question. The filing fee for filing biannual statement of affairs is 5,000 naira only for each of the segments. You know, I told you they would file twice in a year. So for each filing, it's 5,000 naira only.
So 5,000 naira.
Yes.
So in a year, if I have an association, I'm going to pay twice. So I'm paying 10,000
naira. Yes.
Okay, and then the penalty or the default will be 500 naira per
Yes.
day.
If, for instance, let's say an association defaults in paying on or before 15th of July in a given year. Let's say, for instance, the association files out of time, which is, let's say, maybe 18th of July, for instance. Or no, 18th is close. Let's say maybe sometime in November. So for each day of default, 500 naira will be penalized against each trustee of that association.
So they will pay cumulatively?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So what makes, let's go to the difference between the, biannual return statement of affairs for incorporated trustee and the annual returns for, limited, for instance, a limited liability company or a business name.
Thank you very much. For the difference majorly is for biannual statement of affairs, like I said, like the name implies, is just a filing of the statement of affairs of that association. Like filing the, want to see what, is like a report where the association gives a detailed brief of what it has been up to, what it seeks to achieve in the long run, their plans, their goals, how they are meeting the goals and the plans, and so on and so forth. Whereas for annual returns, as enshrined under Section 848 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, it's just a way of CAC knowing that that association is a going concern. That association is still carrying out its activities, is still active in what it seeks to carry out. And the contents of an annual return, basically filing, is to see the details of the trustees. Because when they are filing the returns, we need to see the trustees, the names of the trustees, their addresses, and so on and so forth, their particulars, basically.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. But let me ask you from experience, how difficult is it to deal with associations?
Well, associations are diverse. We have cultural associations, social associations, we have clubs, we have foundations, non-governmental organizations, and so on and so forth. So they all have their peculiar, aims and objectives. There's no blanket aims and objectives for these associations. So for some...
But there's a blanket standard of...
registration.
Yes, and engagement, isn't
Yes.
it? Yeah.
But their objects differ.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So which ones are the easiest ones to deal with?
Well, the easiest ones will be the social clubs where friends come together and they just want to have an avenue where, they come together and like minds rub minds together to advance themselves, to unwind, I think they are the easiest
to deal with.
Because it's usually their friends, there are usually no rancor, there are usually no issues because they are of like minds, usually of the same age bracket. Most times they are from the same region or from the same tribe or culture, so it's easier.
Okay, in terms of compliance with the CAC rules and regulations, which ones comply more?
Well,
or let me even ask you the level of compliance to as far as the biannual statement is concerned.
I would say it's a bit above average, but thankfully, thank God for forums like this where we talk to people about the need to file biannual statements to create awareness about biannual statements. I am optimistic that there will be a surge in the amount of filings of this biannual statement of affairs.
Okay, so as we speak, you have a lot of defaulters.
Yes, we do. On the average, yes, we do. We do.
But what are some of the concerns this, association raise? What are some of their challenges? I'm sure when you go for oversight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, basically, I think the issue of awareness, they want more, programs where they interface with the commission, where they get to understand what the commission is up about, so that they can comply accordingly with the provisions of the Companies and Allied Matters Act as well as the regulations. Yeah, so it's more about awareness and then probably an interface between the commission and then the associations by way of maybe engagements. All
right. Most times when the commission embark on customer forums,
yes,
do they bring up issues of incorporated trustees, or they need to begin to have those kind of forum for incorporated trustees, specifically foundation, associations, and all of that?
Yes.
Okay. So the commission needs to create that.
Yes.
Okay. So that they themselves can also have a one-on-one
interface, interactions where we would understand the needs of these associations, and then where there's need for improvement, where there's need for advice, where there's need for counseling and all that, we would
Okay. All right. So hopefully we'll begin to see some kind of forums, created specifically for for incorporated trustees. If you are going to advise your members, that's the people, the associations, the foundation, and all of that, what exactly are you going to be telling them as far as compliance is concerned, and making work much easier for the commission and especially even staff, as far as incorporated trustees is concerned? Yeah.
My word of advice would be that it's better to comply with the extant laws by filing these returns and statements as at when due, than waiting until the time elapsed and then you're now making late filings. It's better to err on the part of caution. That would be my advice.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sure you've seen other jurisdictions. How do they manage incorporated trustees? Yes,
thank you for that question. Interestingly, in other jurisdictions, in some jurisdictions, the incorporated trustees department is not embedded in, is not yoked with the agency, like the agency that registers incorporated trustees, foundations, social clubs, churches, religious bodies, mosques and all that. They are not fused with the agency that registers companies.
Okay.
But in Nigeria, it's merged together. It's together.
Okay.
It's a department in the Corporate Affairs Commission. So it's similar to some other jurisdictions as well.
Okay.
Like in the UK, the Companies House is different from the Charities Commission.
Okay.
In Rwanda, it's different. You have the Rwandan Governance Board. You have the Rwanda, the agency that registers companies in Rwanda is the Rwandan Development Board, and then the agency in charge of registration of charities, foundations, and associations is the Rwandan Governance Board.
Okay.
But in Nigeria, we're housed in one agency, which is the Corporate Affairs Commission.
Okay. So for the purpose of efficiency and effectiveness, it would be better if the government looks at it this other way of having it separate?
No, we are a very unique country
Okay.
with a diverse culture and, with our size and all that. I think in the wisdom of those that drafted the law, I think this is better, to have both, an agency that warehouses the registration of companies, business names, and incorporated trustees.
Okay. As we round up, what would be the best way to handle association, foundation, and all of that?
Like I said earlier, it will be the need for more engagement with these associations.
Okay.
And then, there will be need for more. The registration process is already simplified as against in the past where it used to be cumbersome a bit, where, there were manual filings or constitutions. You see some associations with bulky constitutions and all that. Now, the constitutions are streamlined and they are online, and it's very easy, and the registration of these associations are very easy. You can register an association now within 28 to 30 days.
I'm happy you talk about simplifying the constitution, because that's where the problem is.
Yes.
People don't have time to read those kind of bulky and some kind of complicated text that you have to crack your brain to be able to figure out what exactly is it saying. So with few pages now.
Yes, it's very few, and it's embedded. It's done online. The registration from start to finish is done online.
Okay.
The constitution, the page for the constitution is just a page.
Oh, just
so
a
it's
page.
very a page.
So you summarize everything.
So you summarize everything. You don't need to input all those verbals like it used to be in the past. Like I said, when we were operating the manual form of registration. So everything is simplified. It's user friendly. You can just sit in the comfort of your home or your office as a trustee and register your association on behalf of your members.
All right. I'm afraid we just have to leave it here. Mr. Esa James. Mr. James Esa, many thanks for your time.
Thank you for that informative segment, Mr. James Esa. Now take a look at this message on the importance of the PSC filing straight from the Registrar General's desk.
Did you know that it is now mandatory by law for companies to declare all persons with significant control of ownership of company to the Corporate Affairs Commission (CAC)? Listen to the Registrar General of the CAC.
By the extant regulation in Nigeria, the identity of the person behind any company must be disclosed.
By virtue of Section 119 and 791 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act of 2020 and the Person with Significant Control Regulations of 2022, the law aims to enhance transparency in corporate ownership across Nigeria.
Any person or any individual with ultimate power or with 5% interest holding must disclose his identity.
Under this law, any company that fails to disclose the beneficial owner of its company or the ultimate person in the company who has influence either directly or indirectly, or the person with 5% shareholding and above or voting rights may face serious consequences.
The law required that any person who assumed that position must disclose that position to that company within 7 days. And the company must communicate same and file same to the Corporate Affairs Commission within 30 days.
The identity of the beneficial owner must be a name of a natural person. Failure to comply attracts daily penalties imposed by law.
If it is a natural person, it attracts 5,000 daily from the date of breach. But if it is unnatural person, it requires 10,000 from the day of the breach to the day of compliance, and it also attracts administrative penalties by the Corporate Affairs Commission.
The CAC reserves the right to refuse to receive any filings from any non-compliant company or even to list the company from its register. For more details, check the Person with Significant Control website at bor.cac.gov.ng or visit the Corporate Affairs Commission's official website at www.cac.gov.ng. CAC, committed to prompt and efficient service.
That was an excellent delivery there by the Registrar General. And now, do you know that by the provisions of Section 421, subsection 1 of CAMA 2020, the annual return of a company limited by shares or guarantee or unlimited shall be completed, signed and delivered to the Corporate Affairs Commission not later than 42 days after the annual general meeting for the year? So have you updated your records with the CAC? Well done if you have. And you have yet to do that, please hurry now to www.cac.gov.ng to file your return to avoid being struck off. The CAC remains committed to working hard to provide prompt and efficient service to customers in line with global best practices. And that does it for this week's edition of the program CAC Weekly. We hope you enjoyed watching. For comments and inquiries, please take advantage of our social media handles and helpline. On Instagram, the address is Corporate Affairs Commission. Facebook is Corporate Affairs Commission. On X, formerly Twitter, is at CAC Nigeria 1. The email address is cservice@cac.gov.ng. And the website is www.cac.gov.ng. And the call center number still remains 070-8062-9000. Do join us next week for another interesting edition of the program, same time, same station. And for me, Rashid Mahe, and the whole team is bye for now.